Here's the gist of Petal Crash. This is an arcade-style puzzle game for up to 2 players, developed by Friend and Fairy and published by Galaxy Trail. It released for PC, Switch, and PS4 October of 2020. This game, first of all, is a love song to the Game Boy Color era of puzzle games. From aesthetic to sounds to above all the fantastic music, this game is oozing charm, if you're a fan of that era, as I am. Gameplay-wise, the core concept is simple enough to grasp with plenty of room for growth. 5 colors of flower blocks are present on a grid. You can use directional arrows or a recommended D-pad on a controller. To move your cursor over to these blocks, select them and then push them in one of 4 cardinal directions. If a block collides into another block of the same color, all blocks of that same color which are touching will disappear, scoring you points. In addition, any nearby blocks of different color will be launched away from the explosion, and if those launched blocks collide with blocks of their color, the same effect occurs, so on and so forth. The idea is to set up chains of collisions to score as many points as possible in few moves or even one move, as all board events will freeze when a chain reaction is playing out. Those board events being new flower blocks spawning in, seen with a timer on the grid which ticks up every time you move a block. Alternatively, you can hold the bumpers to fast forward the spawning of these blocks, giving you more material to work with. Now, in puzzle games like these, time-based modes are your bread and butter, seeing how high a score you can get before running out of time, or moves if you prefer, in a separate mode. But where my love lies is in versus, both against humans and the AI. Let's talk about the story mode, where you pick one of 7 characters on their quest to collect magic flowers from all the others. When gathered all together in an ancient garden, the bearer's wish will be granted. It's a cliched narrative, but that doesn't mean you should ignore the game's dialogue, as every character is full of personality and life. While the gameplay remains the same, the motivations and desires of every character are very honest. The writing is downright earnest, but remains hilarious throughout. Every line is worth reading, so pay attention as you play, you won't regret it. On the gameplay side of things, when faced against an opponent in the campaign, every flower block successfully broken will increase your point counter by 1 and decrease the opposition's by 1. In a tug-of-war style of play, you want to keep your score higher. As time ticks on, the amount of points in the negative you can safely have will decrease until eventually one player's score is low enough to meet the threshold, dealing damage to their health. Once a player runs out of health, their opponent wins. Scoring chains and single moves will drop quick spawning stone blocks on your opponent, which can be broken by matching flower blocks adjacent to them. Losing against an opponent will allow you to continue, lowering the difficulty, and the better you do, the higher the difficulty rises. As for the versus mode, this tug-of-war style of play is the default, but other modes can be played, such as fighting to clear your board faster or overwhelming your opponent with trash blocks. The gameplay itself is rather simple to pick up, but the mentality of mastering comes as quite a challenge. Getting yourself into the headspace of seeing potential combos on a board takes time, and in no mode is that clearer than the puzzle mode. With limited moves, you have to figure out how to manipulate pre-made boards to break all the required blocks. You can also make and share your own puzzles in the editor, which is always a welcome tool in any game like this. Despite perfectly encapsulating the look and feel of the Game Boy Color, Petal Crash takes modern innovations into stride. Control configuration, widescreen support, using more colors while still maintaining the aesthetic, not to mention the performance. This game will most assuredly run on any rig you can throw at it. And most importantly, customization of the tiles with built-in color blindness support. All in all, a very simple game on the surface with complexity underneath in both gameplay and narrative. And at a mere $9.99, Petal Crash is highly recommended to fans of the classic era of puzzle games. It gave me the same blend of nostalgia and fresh mechanics as Crossneak did, with the verses rivaling the fervor of the greats like Puyo Puyo Tetris. And with Steam having remote play options, the lack of built-in online play isn't much of an issue, for the PC version at any rate. And of course, games from smaller teams or single devs shouldn't be held to the same level of expectation as AAA releases, so I wouldn't knock it regardless. Petal Crash is another bountiful breath of fresh air in the puzzle genre, so do yourself a favor if you're a fan of puzzle games and/or clever and thought-provoking character writing. Pick it up, highly recommended. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and take it easy.